Right, now, where are we going now, Ian? What other fabulous offer do you have for us now?
Well, we have one of our standard offers. As I say, this is...
Standard's the wrong word. If it's coming from this show, it's different, out of the box.
It's one of out of our box, but it's one which we sell all the time. It goes all year round. We sell it all year round. We love it all year round. And it's one of our best sellers, and rightfully so, because, again, it's ticking 2 or 3 boxes on what we do. So we are doing our Elvis.
Oh, here we go.
We love a bit of Elvis. We've not had it on for 3-4 weeks.
Have we got a nice video to show anything on Memphis or New Orleans? Because we need Shallow John to come and explain, because he's done this part of the world.
Should we bring Shallow John in?
We'll bring Shallow Johnny, but I think we need to go first and have a look at a bit of the destination.
Yeah, let's roll the VT.
Memphis doesn't just attract tourists, it draws pilgrims. Music lovers come for blues on Beale Street, barbecue connoisseurs for the pulled pork and ribs, and Elvis fanatics fly in to worship at the altar of the king. A history of economic hardship can be seen from most vantage points in Memphis, but for every empty lot, there's a cultural hotspot. Getting around downtown is easy. Vintage trolleys regularly breeze down Main Street, curving down to the Mississippi River. Take the monorail or elevated walkway over to Mud Island, or jog along the river through Tom Lee Park. Head downtown to the Peabody Hotel at 11 a.m. sharp. In a daily tradition dating back to 1933, the hotel's famous ducks file from the elevator across the red-carpeted lobby, accompanied by their red-coated duck master. Midtown Memphis is a diverse area that is now home to upscale cocktail bars along with long-standing juke joints like the Lamplighter. The Cooper Young neighborhood is hipster-friendly with art galleries, cafes, and cool restaurants. Stately homes surround Overton Park, which is home to the Egyptian-themed Memphis Zoo. For a smaller city, the zoo has an extensive array of residents. Don't miss the giant pandas lazily putting back mounds of bamboo in their $16 million habitat. A musical tour of Memphis starts at the second most visited residence in the country after the White House. Elvis Presley's beloved Graceland Mansion is a marvel of 1970s bad taste. For an extra fee, you can tour his private jet and visit the Automobile Museum. Sun Studios doesn't look like much from the outside, but truly is ground zero for American rock and roll music. Blues musicians like B.B. King were first pressed to wax here, followed by the rockabilly sounds of Johnny Cash and the King himself. Stax Museum of American Soul Music is the only soul music museum in the world. Get down on the dance floor and let Isaac Hayes' Superfly Cadillac hypnotize you. The gut-wrenching National Civil Rights Museum provides sobering historical context with an in-depth look at the civil rights movement. It's housed in the Lorraine Motel, where the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was fatally shot in 1968. Nearby Beale Street is where freed slaves once laid the roots for a vibrant African-American community that invented the blues. Today, music spills non-stop from juke joints, jazz halls, and blues clubs. There's also plenty of cheesy souvenirs, tattoo parlors, and psychic emporiums. If it sounds trashy, that's because it is, but it can also be a lot of fun. When it comes to good eats, locals come to blows over who makes the best chopped pork sandwiches or dry rubbed ribs. Barbecue joints are scattered across the city. The ugliest exteriors often win the taste test. Memphis is like that too. If you're willing to look past the sometimes gritty sheen, you're bound to find something that moves you.
Exciting place that just oozes music, and that's Memphis, Tennessee. Give me information, give me Memphis, Tennessee. Who sang that?
No idea.
Chuck Berry.
I would have known that, but if you're singing, it wasn't particularly good.
Might have been a bit off. Okay, so this is, like you say, it's one of your Adore Cruises specials, and it's music themed all the way through.
All the way through.
And John, you've actually done this part of the world.
I did this a couple of summers ago with my family. And
as a cruise, or did you do it as a land-based type?
Did the land-based part first.
Right.
So flew to Memphis. Obviously, there's no direct flights.
No direct,
so
no.
we actually went via Chicago with a very smooth transition. And then spent 3 days in Memphis before jumping on the Amtrak and heading down to New Orleans for 3 days. But Memphis itself was probably for me the highlight of the trip.
Does it appeal to children as well, though?
Yeah, I mean, I've got, at the time they were 17, 14 and 9. And they had a great time. I mean, the first night we went to the legendary BB King's on Bill Street. And it was quite interesting trying to order the food because the music was so loud. That was interesting. But the kids loved the music. They had an in-house blues band, which was really good. And then after we'd recovered from the jet lag, we headed off to Elvis Presley's house, to Graceland's the next day.
And was that as good as you thought it would be?
It was. The tickets were included. Adore included the tickets in the package. And it was a 4-hour tour. And they have
Of the house?
Yep, 4-hour tour. Extensive. It's not quite as big as you think it's going to be, but what it is immensely poignant because it is exactly as the day he died. Nothing's been changed.
Right.
So they've got like the 1970s televisions, the kitchen appliances are all from the 70s. You've got the jungle room, the famous jungle room where he recorded his last album.
Right.
But also has more nefarious connections. And then he's got things like his music room, his communications room, and he's got TVs all over the wall. He was avid TV watcher. And then probably one in the squash court, racquetball as they call it, in the squash court, just outside there's a room there with a piano, and that's where he played his last song to his wife. And then he went up to the house to rest, and then the rest is history.
Was that the little garden shed he had?
Yes, it's a big.
Because I've seen have you seen the conspiracy theories about Elvis?
No.
Extremely interesting. You must watch that one day.
There's a conspiracy theory on everything.
I know there is, but it did glue me. It was a Channel 4 thing many, 5-6 years ago. And it gripped you. It made you think. And a fascinating man in the music world, a legend. Did you not visit any studios there? Because
we did.
Memphis is...
What's the main one? It's Sun Studios.
Sun
isn't it?
Studios.
Sun Studios,
That's
yes,
where he
of course.
recorded his first ever song, if I'm correct.
It is. They call it Ground Zero for music. Because from the outside it's a very ordinary looking building,
right.
but inside you go down into the recording studio, and that's where the likes of Elvis recorded his first song.
And you can still record in there.
You can
isn't it?
record in there.
That'd be interesting. What do they charge you for that? To record
Me and you,
it?
Ian.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, we'll get over there.
It's
Let's
about $100. It's very reasonable. But then also the likes of Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis. They all recorded there.
I think Bono's recorded there as well.
U2 recorded recently there, so it's still a live recording studio.
Wow.
It's a real slice of history. And then on top of that, you've got places like the Stax Museum, which
Famous.
is all about... Yeah.
And you've got the Civil Rights Museum as well, haven't you?
Just about to come on to that. The Civil Rights Museum is stunning. And it's one of those places you come out, you've got hundreds of people in there and it's almost in reverential silence. You cannot understand how man could be so cruel to man. But it's a very, very well done display, and it takes you all through the civil rights movement.
Can you tell people what's it actually famous for? Because obviously, if you're not into history, which generally I wasn't, it's only when I started selling this product that I found out about it.
Yeah.
Why people actually want to go to the Civil Rights Museum, because it's
Yeah.
where Martin Luther King was shot.
Correct. It's attached to what they call the Lorraine Motel. The Lorraine Motel is where he was shot dead on the balcony. And again, that room, similar to Elvis, that room has been enshrined as the day he died. In the balcony where he was shot is still there. And the refectory where the shot came from is across the road. And they attached and built the Civil Rights Museum to honour Martin Luther King on the side of it. Wow. So you get to do the whole of the civil rights piece, and then obviously you get a tour around the motel where he spent his last hours.
Well, what comes out of this is it's not just a music-based thing. There's a lot of history there. And I would say 2 or 3 days minimum with that.
Yes.
If you could extend it. Does this allow this in the package that you could extend?
If you wanted an extra night there, that's fine. We was using the Heartbreak Hotel, but I think that's been knocked
Closed.
down
Yep.
in the next couple of weeks. But they're rebuilding a new one, a bigger one, a better one.
Have you told the people who've already booked with you that the hotel's going to be knocked down while they're staying there?
We already,
Excuse the noise.
we did know. So obviously after a certain date, we couldn't
you
book
had
any
to
more
change,
people in,
okay.
so we changed there. So later on next year, when the new one's open, we'll start putting people back into that product if they want so. We can then do that.
Fantastic.
So then it's on to the Amtrak train, 6:30 in the morning.
6:30 in the morning, a bit of an early start, but again...
From there to New Orleans, yeah?
To New Orleans.
Okay.
And it's about 9 hours, follows the Mississippi down.
It does. It's called the City of New Orleans Amtrak. And similar to, we talked about the Amtrak before, they have a open glass dining cart so you can watch the world go by. And it literally cuts down through the state of Mississippi. So
Right, we're nearly as fast as the Amtrak track. Now, we need to be faster by saying where we're going on the cruise because we've got very little time left.
We're struggling with time.
yes, well, Ian's been on the cruise.
Yep.
I've been on the cruise. Anyway, it's quickly, you do get 3 nights in New Orleans included in the price.
Yep.
Lots of things you can see and do there. Obviously, Hurricane Katrina tour, or go on the Mississippi. There's a steamboat. What's the steamboat called, John?
Natchez.
The Natchez steamboat. We can add that on there for you as well. And a 7-night cruise on the Carnival Dream. Been on the Dream, been there, seen it, done it, loved it. Ports include Mahogany Bay in Honduras, own private island. Just go have a chill. You can walk backwards and forwards to the ship. Then on to Belize. Done a bit of cave tubing there and a bit of zip lining. Remember your mozzie spray,
mozzie spray,
because
exactly.
you are going to get
Yeah.
bitten. And then back to good old Cozumel, where you can either go Carlos and Charlie's, Senor Frogs, or the Chacanab National Park,
Oh, we're
and
good
go
at
see
this.
your dolphins.
And then the ship finishes back in New Orleans.
Back in New Orleans.
And then an indirect flight
then
back.
indirect flight back.
Right.
We've got all dates from November 2016 through to December 2017.
Lead-in price?
$14.99 per person.
Right.
Outside $15.99 per person. Balcony $16.99 per person. And that's based on near enough all dates in November and December, excluding Christmas.
Fantastic. We have to stop there because we've just talked and talked and talked. I love the sound of Memphis. Need to go there. Thank you again. Remember that number, 0800 949 1449. At All Protected. See us on Facebook if you've missed anything. Thanks for engaging with us. Thanks for your time. And you can, if you liked it that much, you can see us again on Tuesday and Thursday and forget about the news. Ian, Shallow John, and me, good night, God bless, and thank you very much indeed. Smooth seas.
Welcome to your Caribbean vacation. Today's agenda, not a care in the world. So relax, explore a little. Then we'll head back to the ship for even more fun. Ooh, check this out. The island looks even better from up here. The great views are endless. And just wait till we get back to the ship. First things first. This water slide is calling your name. Three, two, one, here we go. Wow, look at that sunset. Well, hope you had fun on your instant Caribbean vacation. Sorry you have to get back to reality. At least for now.